everyone. I am live on Facebook at 4 o'clock in the afternoon UK time, hoping to be linked up to with Heirloom so that all you guys can see it. So let me know when you're on, or like, or do messages, or my sister, hi Sarah, the first one to join. Yes, so I have to talk. Oh, I'm very shiny. You'll have to excuse me, it's my kitchen. Oh, goodness me. Oh, even worse. Well, I'm just a shiny person, I suppose. There we are. Yes, so I have to talk about Heirloom Audio productions and some of the productions that I've been involved with. So I'll just wait for a few people. Oh, bless you. Lots of people. Hi, Claire. Hi, Amy. So yeah, we'll wait for a few people to join as it's only a couple of minutes past 4. And yeah, I'll answer some questions. So I've been sent by the lovely Aaron, who is part of Heirloom, who's very lovely. He's come over to the UK the times that we have recorded the plays. And oh, I'm so shiny, it's very annoying. I was even worse shiny. Even worse shiny. Oh, I'll sort it out another time. Tell you what, I'm just going to turn the lights down in my kitchen. I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm still here. Hopefully that's a bit better. Oh, it's still no good. Anyway, regardless. Yes, so, yes, Heirloom and Aaron, so he would come over with Heirloom when we would record the plays. And he has set me up with some questions this morning. And you're quite welcome, Aaron. He's saying thank you for the shout out. You're quite welcome. Okay, we'll start with a good one. Thank you, Sarah. My sister has posted a nice question. She said, which is your favourite, radio or theatre? And why? It's difficult, really, because radio is a very lovely way to make drama. It's a very relaxed environment. It's very chilled. And I've been doing a lot more of it over the last few years. I had a little girl nearly 3 years ago now, and I've been doing a lot more radio since then because family life, blah, blah, blah. It's just a bit better. You know, you can commute to London in a day and record, whereas with theatre, quite often, it's at least a couple of months contract, and that can take you away. It can take you, you know, a 5-hour car ride away. And I know for those of you in the US, 5 hours isn't particularly a long journey, but in the UK it is. It can get you to at least halfway up the country. So yeah, there's definitely the downsides to doing theatre at the moment, but at the same time, with theatre, you get a process, you get a long rehearsal process, which is lovely, and there's a lot of discovery in the rehearsal room, and you get to go to work every day, working with great people, which you do in radio, obviously. And then you get to do the show every night, and it's a bit like a roller coaster. You get on at the beginning of that roller coaster and you ride that journey all the way to the applause at the end, hopefully. And there's a real buzz about doing that. Whereas when you do radio and TV and film, you record it in little bits here and there. So yeah, that. Oh, so I haven't answered the question though. I've just been talking about it. I would say for the first 10, 15 years of my career, it was definitely theatre was the thing that I loved doing so much. And then, but now I just love doing radio. I absolutely love it. And I just want to do more of it as much as possible. because it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of camaraderie in the recording studio, and they just sound amazing. Don't they sound amazing? The Heirloom staff sounds so good. Anyway, I will start answering some questions. I will answer some questions. Where are they? Hold on. Okay, here we go. So, from Stuart Rose in the US, I think. What do you do to get an accent going that is not your basic one? Oh, blimey. Well, I do have a penchant for accents. And I do really like doing them. But how would I get one going? Read whatever it is that you're doing in the accent over and over and over again. And there may be little words that you can do, can't do. So practice those. Talk to people who have that accent. So I do a Geordie accent quite a lot. For those in the US, Geordie is the northeast of England. It's Newcastle upon Tyne, and it has like a real like accent like this. Well, that wasn't very good actually. Well, doesn't matter. Anyway, and my best friend Claire, she's a Geordie, so I would speak to her a lot, ask her pointers, things like that. Also, hooks, phrases. The name of the place I find really useful. Little hooks that can kind of get you into into the accent and start thinking in it. And listen to voice clips. You can get lots of like what do you call them? Voice clips on YouTube and things like that, where people are teaching you how to do the accent, although some are better than others. And yes, just read it aloud over and over and over again. Another question. This is again from Stuart Rose. What is the hardest part about voice acting? I think the hardest part, that's quite a difficult one really. I think it's just because you're totally reliant on the voice and getting the story across through the voice. Actions as well, like if you're eating or if you're out of breath, you have to use your voice to create that illusion. Well, obviously heavy breathing and things like that. So you can't rely on, yes, they might put a sound effect on in post-production and things like that, but you can't rely on people being able to see these things. You're having to tell a story just through sound. So I would say that's the hardest part, is that you're totally reliant on the voice and you can't use gesture or anything like that. Okay, so some other questions. So this is from Victoria Rast. Hi, Victoria. And her question is, what do you normally do to get to know the character you're portraying? Same as the about that, the accent thing is just read it and read it and read it and read it, because a lot of the time, most of the time, all of the information is in the script. What they're like, what they say, what their reactions to certain situations are, that sort of thing. Also, if a character is based in history or is a real person or was a real person or whatever, or is a famous character, is to read about them, and do as much research as you possibly can. I did The Prime of Miss Jean Brodie. It's a very famous play in this country. In the UK, I mean, and it's based in Edinburgh, and it's schoolgirls in Edinburgh, and their schoolmistress, and there's a lot of cultural references, art references, political references, that sort of thing. And I think it's based in the 1930s, so with the rise of Mussolini in Italy and things like that. So there's a lot of cultural and political references in there, and it's just all about the research, and it informs your characterization and it informs your performance. So I think that is how I would get to know a character. Also talk about it, to whether it to be to your castmates in a rehearsal room, or I sound off with my husband a lot. My husband is called Dominic. He's lovely. I talk to him a lot and kind of work things out. The questions that you are in your head, you can kind of talk them out a little bit, and he might give his opinion, and then I'll say, no, that's stupid, and go with my opinion. But I guess that's what marriage is all about. Anyway, so some more questions. What's your favourite and least favourite part of recording in the studio? And that's from Victoria Rast again in the US. And I think this question crops up a few times. People have said, what was your favourite part in Berwick? So for those of you that don't know, Berwick the Briton was one of the plays that I recorded for Heirloom Audio, and I also did Reign of Terror, which is, I think Reign of Terror was one of the most recent, second to last one that's just come out. But in Berwick the Briton, it's based on the first Briton to, in like Roman times, to become a Christian. And he gets captured by the Romans. He gets taken back to Rome from Britain, and he becomes a gladiator, and he becomes a Christian whilst he's in Rome, and then goes back to Britain and takes Christianity back with him. And I play Amelia, who is a Roman. She lives in Britain, and she ends up, I don't want to give you any spoilers or anything, but her and Berwick kind of like end up as a bit of a couple at the end. But so the best bits about recording Berwick was, for me, the Colosseum scene. It was just immense. And Joe Timms, who is a wonderful actor, and he played Berwick, we were just at our microphones, and there's a lot of narration happening at the same time, but the narration was being recorded at a separate point. So we had somebody in another little room reading the narration, and we had our headphones on so we could hear what he was saying. And occasionally we had lines interjected with the narration, but a lot of it was just reaction. There was a bit where we were having to tear sheets up to create a long rope, if you like, to kind of bind the tiger. So it was all noises like that. And I just had the most wonderful experience doing it, because I was in my own little world, because you have a little music stand in front of you with my script on, and I was following the narration, or my lines, or Joe's lines, and I had my headphones on, so I was in my own little cocoon, if you like, and just totally immersed in what was happening in the story, the narration and things like that, and just doing my parts as they came up. And for me, that was my favourite bit of recording, because it just sounded amazing, even without the sound effects. And for those of you that have listened to Berwick the Briton, I'm not surprised that Berwick the Briton has won awards, because it is the best piece of post-production I've ever heard on a radio play. It's brilliant. So yeah, go out and buy it. Yeah. So that was definitely my favourite part to do for Berwick the Briton. And it was the hardest part as well, because we didn't have a lot of dialogue to rely on. A lot of it was just kind of heavy breathing because we were scared and we were being approached by lions and we were about to be ripped apart, and then Beric kind of binds this lion and saves us and all of that kind of stuff. So it was definitely hard. I think I was hyperventilating by the end of it. Yes, that was good. But definitely, in general, the best bits about recording in the studio is it's nice and casual. Everybody's having a good time, and there's nice banter going on. I do remember at one point singing "Spoonful of Sugar" from Mary Poppins behind. If you see the trailer video of and there's like a little like behind the scenes video of the recording of Beric. I think that made it into the behind the scenes recording. I don't know, lighten the mood. Erin says, I remember that. Yes, so do I. Well, you just got to keep it, because I think the worst thing about being in the recording studio for me is aircon. I can't bear air conditioning. It dries your throat out. It makes me feel ill. It makes me feel like I've got a hangover, for those of you that drink, or a cold or something. So I'm not a fan of aircon. And also there's no windows because it's all soundproofed and boarded out. So you kind of lose track of the time. So you can go a little bit crazy if you're in the studio for a week, all day, every day. Some people are. So that's definitely my least favourite part. But throw in a bit of Mary Poppins and that lightens the mood for everyone. Yes, so sorry, I'm reading some of the quotes that are coming through. Thank you. Let me see. What is a typical recording day for you? I made some notes, right? This is my typical recording day. Travel, turn up, coffee, chat, read the script, chat, scene, record a scene, biscuits, coffee, another scene, lunch. I know I didn't get that far, any further than that, but that's pretty much what it is. Yeah, so you spend a lot of time going in and out. So you'll turn up for the day. Oh, this question is from Olivia Nickerson. There we are. Yes, you spend a lot of time going in and out the room. So you'll turn up and, hi, how are you? Yeah, I haven't seen you for ages. Yeah, how are you doing? How's the family? Coffee, have a biscuit. And then we'll go in and record a few scenes, and actors are coming in and out because obviously they're not in this scene, but they're in the next scene, and all of that kind of thing. And then we'll record the scenes. Oh, somebody's just done the little smiley laughy face thing, whatever you call it. I don't know. Yeah, so we'll record a few scenes, and then it'll be lunch. And then there's more coffee, lots of coffee. Actors drink a lot of coffee. And yes, and yeah, in and out and do more scenes and in and out again. That's basically a typical recording day in the world of radio drama. Let me see some more questions. Stuart Rose again. Thank you for the questions, Stuart. And he says, how do you create the necessary emotions without other actors, sets or props to help you to that point? Well, I guess it was it was what I was saying before about having my own, for me anyway, having my own little world. Because sometimes when you record in a studio for radio drama, they might separate you by these big like room divider partition things. I guess it's another way of soundproofing, that sort of thing. But for Heirloom, we tend to all stand in a big circle facing inwards, and we all have a music stand in front of us with our are scripts on it. And then you have your headphones as well, so that you can kind of hear prompts, or you can hear everybody properly, you know, because it's all going through to your ears. Bit of Band-Aid, you know, feed the world, that sort of thing going on. And for me, I just kind of zone in, and I concentrate on the script, and I follow the script as the other actors and myself read it. Because the good thing about radio is you don't have to learn lines, which is a bonus when you have a 3-year-old. And so yeah, I just kind of zone in my own little world, kind of behind my music stand with my headphones on, and just focus in on the script. And then you kind of, like you do when you listen to radio drama, you create the images of the story in your head, and that's what I do. And I find that helps me to kind of get to the point that I need to be, as far as emotions and things go. Yeah, post any questions if you have, because I am fast running out of questions here. But yeah, do post any questions on the timeline, and I will answer them. Let me see. What are some... This is Victoria Rast again from the US. What are some tips you can give for someone considering voice acting? Oh, lordy. Oh, people ask you all the time, how do you get into acting then? Oh, here's one. Oh, I'll do Karen. I'm so sorry, I can't pronounce names very well. Karen Pizzuli Allen. And Max Nichols. I'll come and answer your questions in a second. But yeah, how do you get into voice acting? Well, I mean, an agent, but right from the beginning, I suppose. I grew up in a small town in the southwest of England, seaside town, and certainly in the 90s, before internet. And thank you, Karen. I did pronounce it correctly. Good, thank you. Yes, so I grew up in a small town in the southwest of England, seaside town. People would come, you know, a bit of a holiday destination. And in the 90s, before we had internet and things like that, you know, it was difficult to know what was going on. For an aspiring actress, as I was when I was a teenager, I did lots of youth theatre and things like that locally, but I didn't know a lot about, other than the big West End shows like Les Mis and Phantom and all of that, those kind of things. I had no idea about what was going on around the country. You know, some of the amazing repertory theatres that we have in this country, I had no idea. My one source of theatrical information was the Stage newspaper, for those of you in the UK. You'll appreciate that. Whereas now you can click of a button, you can find out what's happening here and what's happening there, all around the country. So for me, when I decided that I wanted to become an actor, I had to go and train. And yes, obviously it was about the training, and the training was great, and I wouldn't be doing it now if I didn't have the training that I did. But it was also a way into the business for me, because I met people, you know, friends of mine who are now directors or are now producers, or other actors who get you involved in their projects or whatever. But also at the end of drama school, there was a showcase. And that's, so you go down to London, you do a show with all of your classmates, and that's kind of how you kind of get an agent. And when I was 18, 21, I would have had no idea how to go about getting an agent, let alone a job. So for any aspiring actors, voice or otherwise, out there, is train and just go to institutions that can introduce you to the industry, because I had all I knew is I wanted to do shows. I wanted to be in a play or a musical. But I didn't know how to go about doing it. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, yes, there are some questions coming up. Tabby Fullen, hello Tabby. Could you give us a little sample demo of some of your favourite voices? Pretty please, she says. Pretty please. Oh dear. Well, like I was saying, I see now I'm not going to be able to turn them on at all. What's the time? Are we running out of time? We might be. We've got about 5 minutes left. So I would suppose the Geordie. Oh, I can't even do it now. Hold on. Let me. I can't even do it. I've gone all shy all of a sudden. You're right, pet. Aye. We're ganning yem. That was a good one. We're ganning yem means we're going home in English. And when I did Playing with Miss Jean Brodie, we spoke in Scottish accents, and I really like that one. Nice Edinburgh clipped, rather than like Ouija, Glaswegian. I'm not very good at that one. It's going really badly. Okay, moving on. There you are, Tabby. That's the lot. And oh, Kim Kent, what appealed to you about working with Heirloom Audio? I read that as what appalled you. No, it's not. What appealed to you about working with Heirloom Audio? They offered me a job, which is always a plus. Oh, they're just such a lovely bunch of people to work with. I mean, they come all the way over from the States, and we just have a really, really good time. And they're so passionate about the Henty stuff that I mean, Henty, if you can hear a noise in the background, I'm really sorry. It's my dog. She's rolling on her back, making noises. So apologies. There's nobody being killed or anything. Yes, I just love working with Heirloom. Great bunch of people, and they've just got such this tome of projects. So for those of you that don't know, they're currently working their way through all of the G.A. Henty works. So G.A. Henty, he was a writer, novelist in Victorian England, I think, and he's just written all of these, I suppose, adventure stories. And so Beric the Briton and Reign of Terror, which was the other one I did, which was about the French Revolution, the aristocracy during the French Revolution. So I was doing my best French accent. That was another one. And yeah, and anyway, I've lost my train of thought, but they're a lovely, lovely bunch of people, and I would happily work for them over and over and over again. And hey, there's about 100 odd Henty things anyway, so maybe there might be another one or two that I get involved in, hopefully. Max Nichols, is that a typewriter? Is what a typewriter, Max? I've no idea what you're talking about, darling. Yeah, if you can clarify, that'd be great. Simon Neil Bully, hello darling, how are you? Simon is a friend of mine who we went to drama school with, and he's a fabulous singer and a fabulous dancer. And he says, oh dear, Simon, are there any? No, there are no rules when it comes to voiceover. I don't think. Oh, you heard a typewriter. Oh, no, that was... So this is Max again going on about a typewriter. He says, I heard a typewriter-like noise in the background. I just love typewriters. No, Max, I'm afraid it's not. We've got wood floor in the kitchen, and that was my dog walking through. Tap, 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 dancing. And my husband is asking me, have I fed Mary? That Mary is our dog. No, I think we're getting off point here. Oh, you want to meet Mary? Mary. So so Aaron wants to meet the dog. Yes, come here. So you can meet Mary, and then it's time to go. Hello, this is Mary dog. Say hello, Mary dog. Say hello. You're on Facebook Live, love. Yes, you are. Anyway. That's Mary. She's an old lady now, but she's lovely. She's a rescue dog, and we've had her for How old are you? About 8 years. But anyway, I'm going to go now because I'm just waffling. But thank you so much to everyone that has logged on and asked questions and things. And yes, look after yourselves, everyone. I shall catch up with you all soon. How do I turn this off? Bye-bye.